Math Minute 62. Number 1 says a good runner might be able to run blank miles in 1 hour. So I actually looked this one up, and I found out that the average runner runs about 8 miles per hour. So if we were saying what would a good runner run? Probably about 10 miles an hour. And then I also looked up like Olympic sprinters who are the fastest people in the world. They average around like 23 miles an hour. So if you're a pretty good runner, something around 10 miles an hour would be pretty good. But the fastest people in the world are just above 20. Number 2, which of these shapes is a rhombus? So a rhombus, you can kind of think of like a square kind of turned to the side a little bit. So if I look at these ones, of these shapes, A, B, C, which one kind of looks like a square turned to the side? So it kind of looks like a diamond shape. Well, that's B. A is a rectangle. C would be a parallelogram. We'll call it B a rhombus. Looks kind of like a diamond. All right, number 3, use plus or times to complete the problem. So let's just try them out. So I got 1/6. If I put a plus sign in there, 4/6. Remember, when we're adding or subtracting fractions, if the bottom number is the same, it stays that number. So it's going to stay a 6, and then I just add the top. 1 plus 4 is 5, which is what I was looking for. So we know that's going to be a plus. But let's just see what would we get if we times it. So if I had 1/6 times 4/6, well, now I'm going to multiply the top, and then I multiply the bottom. So 1 times 4 would be 4 on top. 6 times 6 would be 36 on the bottom. So that'd be 4 over 36. So a big difference whether I add those or multiply it. In this case, we were supposed to add. Number 4 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 to the second power 36. Well, let's start out by doing 2 times 2, which is 4. So that would be 4 times 2 times 3 to the second power. 4 times 2 would be 8 times 3 to the second power. So remember, 3 to the second power is like saying 3 times 3, which is 9. So this right here would become 8 times 9, which would be 72. And they had 36, so that is incorrect. So we would say that this is false. Number 5 says if you add 12 to the quotient of 15 divided by 3, you get what? Well, quotient is the answer you get when you divide. So if I did 15 divided by 3, the quotient is going to be the answer that I get. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And then it said I needed to add 12. So I'm going to add 12 to that. 5 plus 12 is 17. So my answer for that one would be 17. Number 6 says the cards to the right were placed face down on a table and then mixed up. Which letter would be the most likely to appear when a card is flipped over? So basically, I'm just looking for which letter appears the most times here. Well, just by looking at this, I see a lot of G's. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's way more than any other letter on here. So the most likely letter that I would turn over if these were upside down and I flipped them would be G. Has the highest probability. Number 7, write as an improper fraction. So when you're changing this is called a mixed number right now. And if we want to change it to an improper fraction, the rule is we take the whole number, which in this case is the 8, multiply it by the denominator, which in this case is the 4, and we add the numerator, which in this case is the 3. 8 times 4 is 32. 32 plus 3 would be 35. And then our denominator stays the same, so that's a 4. So 8 3/4 written as an improper fraction would be 35/4. So just know that even though these look different, they're the same thing. Number A says write in mixed fraction form. So I think this actually helps to draw a little diagram. So let's say I had 9 circles. And I said, okay, how many groups of 5 could I make out of this? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can't make another group of 5 because I only have 4 circles left here. So I was able to make one group of 5. And then I had 4 left over. So that's actually going to be the numerator. And then the denominator is going to stay the same, which was the 5. So 9/5 written as the mixed fraction would be 1 4/5. Number 9, 0.327 times 100. So the rule is when I'm multiplying by 100, 100 has 2 zeros in it. So that tells me that I'm going to move my decimal point 2 places to the right. There and then there. So my answer would be 32.7. I don't even need a calculator for that. I can just move the decimal point. So the next one, 0.327 times 10. 10 has 1 0 in it, so that's going to tell me to move my decimal point 1 place to the right. So then I get 3.27. And then 0.327 times 0.1. I got 1 decimal place here. So that actually, because I'm multiplying by a decimal, I'm actually going to move it to the left 1 time. So now I'm going to go that way. So 0.327 times 0.1 is going to be 0.0327. And then lastly, number 10, they're asking me to find 10% of 46. So the first thing I want to do is change 10% to a decimal. 10% as a decimal is 0.10. And the way I got that is I just did 10 divided by 100. Percentages are out of 100. And then when we see this word of in math, we times, and then 46. I could punch this into my calculator. When I do that, I would get 4.6. So same thing here, 10% of 140. I'm going to change my percent to a decimal, which in this case, 10% would be 0.10. Of means multiply. 140. I could punch it into my calculator. If I do that, I would get 14. And that concludes Math a Minute 62. You guys can go ahead and turn that one in.